Welcome to another episode of Crypto Cliff Notes. You got me and Pat in the building at the same time again, and we actually got the CEO, the creator of the Jelly Cubes, the Block investment. We got Block, Jason himself, man. How are you doing today, bro?
What's up, guys? What's up? Doing good. Thank you for having me on. This is it's cool.
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
yes, yes. Appreciate you for hopping on, man. It's a blessing to, just have all these projects, like we said before, we started this about a month ago. We're gonna keep progressing. We want to get the hotter projects. We want to get the projects that we specifically like in the space too. And we just want the crowd, we want the audience to hear from the creators themselves and let them know about the project. So, whether that's they want to invest into it, look more into it, whatever it might be, they can come right to this channel and see all the information of these projects here. But starting off, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're located, where what got you into NFTs, cryptos, and then how, Jelly Cubes came around.
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Jason. Got into crypto in like 2017. A huge ride to get to where I am now, but I've always been a curious guy. Found myself getting into DeFi pretty heavily, and then eventually NFTs. And very similar to you guys, started off with Ethereum, like most people. Actually, started off with like NBA Top Shots.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
nice.
that's what kind of got me in. And I was like, okay, let me
It's
mint
easy
some.
money.
Yeah. And I remember like the first project I minted on Ethereum was like thick Pokemon, like just Pokemon with asses on them. And that was kind of my introduction. And then over time, once DeFi was really kicking off, I started getting into different chains. I'm not a maximalist in any blockchain, but I really found a lot of love in Cardano. I love the way they're doing things, the approach they're taking. And when I saw their CNFTs, when I saw the NFTs, I was like, wow, this is a space that is super undervalued when compared to some of these other blockchains. And the ceiling of where it could be is
Absolutely.
so huge. But yeah, I had started my YouTube channel. Block is hot. Pretty much at the start of the year, I started covering some of the CNFT content, just general crypto content. And now I've finally launched my own NFT project after covering a lot of other people's projects called Jelly Cubes by the Block Investment Group. And now we're here in Portugal. I came from the US, North Carolina, and just this past month before I launched this project, I actually moved to Portugal. So cool stuff.
Cool. That's awesome, man. Portugal. How is the weather out there? Nice. It's beautiful out there.
It's nice, man. Like every day is very in the zone. It's like I would say like at night it gets a little chilly, but like 60 degrees to like 75, 80 degrees like every day so far. So it's nice.
Lovely. That's lovely.
So tell us about how Jelly Cubes, the Block investment, how that came about, within your experience in NFTs and cryptos.
Yeah, I mean, kind of what happened is back when Top Shots was coming out and NFTs were blowing up, I was like, holy crap, dude, this is crazy. People were just releasing thick Pokemon and making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's crazy.
So like that really piqued my interest because my sister's actually a graphic artist. Oh, wow. And I was like, oh my God, Katie, let's make a project. Let's make an NFT project. And at first she was like totally not down. I wasn't able to convince her and stuff. But for me, it was something that I was like continually paying attention to. And one of the things that was happening during this in-between time was that I was realizing there was a huge need in this space for information. Like there was such a lack of information when it came to DeFi, when it came to NFTs, when it came to crypto in general. And as I was learning how to do these different things, like provide liquidity and bridge your tokens into different blockchains, I was like, no one is covering this. Like I had to figure it out all by myself. And it was like kind of hard to wrap your head around. So one of the things I was like, oh my gosh, not only do I think it would be cool to start a YouTube channel to start covering some of this information, but there needs to be these projects that provide information on these things. Like there needs to be a place where you can get information, because kind of my background, especially while I was in college, I was really into flipping. And I was part of these like exclusive groups that told you, hey, this is a good flip, this is something valuable, whatever the case is. And I saw so much value from it. It was such a great return on my investment because I would pay every month to be in this group, but the information I got was worth more than what I was paying. I was making more money from that information. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have the NFT project idea. Why not launch an NFT project where instead of having a monthly subscription to some sort of company where as soon as you cancel the subscription, you're just out of luck, why not do a one-time sale where now all of a sudden this NFT is your membership. And now you own your membership rather than just renting your membership in a sense. And then when I had that idea, I hit up my sister again and she's like, okay, let's do it. Let's work on it, especially since I told her we were going to go on Cardano, which is more eco-friendly. And then it was just this whole journey of after that, like starting the YouTube channel, building up a following, like learning the space more, figuring out the nitty gritty of what exactly we were trying to do.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's a great story.
Yeah, and you got family. That's all. Yeah, that works out.
Oh yeah.
That helps a whole lot. Somebody to trust right off the jump. Like that definitely helps.
Yeah.
So your first when it came out, you want to give us like release date, mint price, quantity, overall quantity you plan on doing with the project, that kind of stuff, like basically touch on like, roadmap style.
Yeah, so we had launched, I would say, so originally the supply was 2,500 for these jelly cubes, but the market really started to like take a hit. And I was like, we could sell these 2,500, but I want to make sure the project does well in the secondary for like long-term strategy, right? So I was like, you know what, let's cut the supply in half and drop it into two different sections. So the first section, the first 1,250, we just released, I don't know, like maybe I think it was like the 23rd of last month. And it was 200 ADA per NFT. And, we had sold out of that and the floor is actually going pretty well right now. And then the next 1,250 is going to be sometime later on, maybe in like 3 to 4 months. Once I start to get the Discord how I want it, and once we start getting these different utilities and like figure out and basically just figure out all the nitty gritty stuff, then we'll launch the second half. So, and when we launch the second half, it is going to be a whitelist for people that are currently holding the first half. And as far as price goes, it really just depends on what the floor is for jelly cubes by the time we want to launch the second half.
Yeah, I was working. I missed that mint.
I know too.
That's the only problem. Sometimes they go so fast. Then you just miss out on the good ones.
I know. I know.
Dude, I mean, we kind of flew under some people's radar too, because like we were supposed to launch and then I was like, wait a minute, I'm actually going to move to Portugal instead because their regulations are a lot more chill than the US. Like in the US, you have no idea what an NFT is. Like they have no idea what an NFT is in the US right now. So I was like, you know what? Let me move to Portugal first. And then when I got to Portugal, I was like, hey, I'm not going to announce the release date until I feel like I can get my computer set up and stuff. And then once I announced it, it was like a week later was the mint. So most projects you'd see on the calendar for a month and you'd prepare for that certain date. With this, I think it was like 6 days. Wow. So it kind of flew under people's radar a little bit. And I think a lot of people like that didn't like deep dive the project. They didn't really know what we were trying to do either. So a lot of them were like, they didn't really know what the project was about. So.
No, you guys were definitely on our radar for sure.
It's doing good.
Yeah.
So congrats on that part. That's for sure.
For sure. Yes.
Appreciate it.
So with those NFTs, I know you guys have some different roles, benefits, rarities. Can you go into and elaborate more on the benefits of holding this jelly cube? Because obviously it's not just a picture of a jelly cube
and just a white list, right?
It's a lot more to it, and we were reading into it. Could you give the audience, the holder benefits of holding one of these NFTs or multiple NFTs?
Yeah. So essentially, for me, I'm really big into utility. And as someone that covers this space a lot, and I'm sure you guys can see now too, is the way NFTs are transitioning is insane. It started off, hey, here's a random JPEG of a thick Pokemon. Now all of a sudden it's worth $500,000. And it was super speculative. People were investing just so that maybe someone after them would buy it. They didn't understand it, right? And then over time, maybe last year in Q4, we started hearing the metaverse terms and utility tokens and stuff like that. And then that's where the market was heading. And now where I feel like the market is heading is like genuine utility that can provide more use case than just an NFT or a JPEG, right? So the big thing with Jelly Cubes is part of an umbrella company we're building called the Block Investment Group. And the Block Investment Group has a couple of different main aspects that we're trying to tackle. And your Jelly Cube is your ticket into this actual group. So the first part is the alpha. One of the big things, like I said, is information, knowing what plays to go for, knowing where to find these different things, like knowing different news that's coming up. Like information is super valuable. So one aspect of the alpha group is that we provide different information about these different plays, what we're looking for, different news, stuff like that. We're also in the process of providing different tools that can help people in the space just level up their game. And then we also have that social aspect of now being in a community of a bunch of people that are trying to figure out what are good investments in the space. So instead of just hopping on a traditional Discord of like an NFT project where they just talk about that one project, instead you're talking about all sorts of projects, and everyone starts to have this base level of experience where now you almost have this web of community members that are all helping you find projects to invest in. The second thing that we're doing is, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but the second thing we're doing is we're really trying to build a marketing launch pad for new projects. I haven't touched on it super deeply yet, and there's a lot of exciting things to come out, but we're going to create some different tools and different resources to really help new projects get exposure. So that's something big in the space. You can have the best project in the world, but if no one's seeing it, it doesn't matter. So we're creating different things to help with exposure. And the third thing is the reason why you would hold multiple Jelly Cubes. One Jelly Cube gives you access to the Block Investment Group. Multiple Jelly Cubes give you access to our overall block drop system. Essentially, every Jelly Cube, depending on the skin it has a different rarity and therefore a different amount of points. And once you have a certain amount of points, you qualify for our block drops, which anyone staking their Jelly Cubes can actually earn these additional rewards through our block drops, which are not only block tokens, but also ADA. And the way we're getting this ADA is going to be through these different revenue streams that we're creating, as well as having our own minting team that is going to mint and invest in the different projects that are coming out. And then basically taking a percentage of that and having it for these different block drops. So the goal is over time, your one Jelly Cube is going to give you access to all this information and networking and tools. Then the second thing is now that you own multiple Jelly Cubes, now all of a sudden over time, as we get these different revenue stream ideas out there and we start like really scaling up, hopefully over time, these block drops will be more significant.
Wow.
Sounds fun.
That's awesome. That's different. You know, it's better than, like you said, there's a transition going on right now with NFTs. And the utility is starting to be a little bit different. You know, the last couple of projects that, you know, we interviewed, they have a different roadmap. It's not just, you know, a profile picture. It's transitioned into whether it's a play to earn or maybe they're going to be in the metaverse. I mean, obviously metaverse right now is all speculative, you know, everything's speculation with that as of right now. But, you know, the different roles, you know, having an investment group, having alpha, I mean, that's stuff that
it's real life utility.
Yeah, that's real life utility, things that can actually change people's life and change the way their income, you know, is coming in. And I think that itself right there is a utility. I think that's great that you guys are doing that, because, you know, you impact one life. It's a block effect, literally. You know, you knock one block down, it keeps going. You know, it's the impact is. I love that.
Yeah, and I love how you brought it up, because we wanted to create some sort of utility that wasn't just reliant on the CNFT or NFT market, right? Like a lot of the problems I see with projects is if the NFT market or that specific CNFT market takes a hit, all of the stuff they're doing is reliant on the market. hey, we have a token, but how are you providing that value to that token? And what if the NFT market takes a hit, the crypto market takes a hit? Like, they're maybe developing these metaverses, but who cares about going into these metaverses if no one's paying attention to the market, right?
True.
So one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to do something that was universal and not just reliant on NFTs. And obviously, a lot of the stuff in the beginning is CNFT focused, just because that's our main market right now. But when it comes to alpha information, like, that could be on real estate, that could be on gold, commodities. Really, when we have this block investment group, we have like about 500 unique holders right now. But all of these guys have unique perspectives, live in unique places, have different information, different skills, different attributes. And we can take those skills as a community and learn how to take advantage or capitalize on opportunities outside of this space. And even when it comes to our block drops, we can have different revenue streams, like owning Airbnb properties that aren't necessarily tied to crypto. So that was like the whole thought process behind that, is like, okay, how can we have utility that is going to stand the test of the market?
That's awesome.
You're tapping into all the markets.
Yeah, I think that's great. You know, when you have not just one person calling out the shots, you know, you got a collective of holders, of individuals that are coming together, you know, in different areas that have had success in those different areas, come together, come and work together and win together. You know, I heard the quote, I'll say it all the time, you know, if you want to go alone, you go fast. If you want to go far, you go together, you know, so.
Dang, that's deep.
It's a fact though. It's true.
That's true. Yeah. I like that. I'm gonna steal that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So one of the other ones we always throw out there is like, so anybody that's new watching wants to get involved with your project, is there any certain, should they just sweep, should they grab a floor? Is there any certain trait maybe that might benefit them a little bit stronger? So like, give it to one. So a newcomer that, let's just say, a little bit tighter budget, that's looking that way. And then if you have a person that doesn't care about a budget, where would you go?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it really just depends on what all you're looking for and how much you believe in the project, I guess. Right. I would say, like, part of the thing that, like, I knew the secondary would do pretty well, but I didn't think it would get this high quickly. Yeah. So I think we're at like 13 or 1400 ADA right now floor, and it's been swinging between like 1,000 and 14, but I know that prices a lot of people out, unfortunately. Now, if you did have that range of money, if you buy one and you're looking for alpha and you're looking for a community where we have voice calls and whitelist giveaways and stuff like that, then I would just pick up a simple floor piece. And like, every floor piece is still going to give you the same information, the same access. Okay. And one thing that's super valuable about the access is we've actually been having project owners come on. Like, we had Aura come on yesterday, and they hooked us up with 40 whitelist spots. Like, and we were able to ask them questions, and like, that's like something super valuable, is like these voice calls we have every single day. But yeah, like, maybe just get one in that situation. If you're someone that is like really big into like the block drops and you think that we're going to build this up and it's something worth your investment, then that's where you would try to get at least 6 points, right? Okay. And there on our Discord, we have like a sheet that shows what Jelly Cube gives how many points, but you'd want to get at least 6 for that. And every additional point, you get additional percentage of the share. Gotcha. So it's one of those things where, you know, you would just buy more. Every point you buy is more share. Right. But one thing I will say to people that are priced out right now is we are, and this is most likely going to happen next month, but we're actually going to have 1 week access membership passes that we're going to partner with different projects out there. So it might be one of those situations where we go to Ape Society. We're like, hey, here's 30 passes, 20 ADA each, 30 ADA each, whatever the case is. And now you get 1 week access into the BIG. And during that 1 week for 20 or 30 ADA, you can see whether or not it's an investment that you want to make and actually buy the NFT. And at the same time, we get to collab with other projects with that and get exposure that way. So it's something that we have planned to help people that don't want to take that full 1300 ADA jump right off the rip before knowing what they're getting.
Hey, it's still a good deal with ADA being at a discount.
Yeah, 50% off.
Facts,
Absolutely.
man. Facts. It's cool, dude. Like I thought maybe we'd be at like 500 or something. It's kind of crazy we've held over 1,000 so well. I think it's just like people that were, because we've been building this community before we even announced the project. So there were different people that were hearing these ideas and already like had it, like knew what we were trying to do. So I think a lot of those guys are just like ride or dies and, you know, just holding.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's what you want.
Oh yeah. So what partnerships do you guys have as of right now? Any bigger partnerships, any upcoming partnerships you guys have coming? Tell us more into that.
Partnerships is like what specifically?
So they're either a collab with another NFT. We've had ones that are, say for example, holder benefits. They'll partner with like different hotels where you get discounts guaranteed, like any style like that.
Real world NFT projects, anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is, so like one, we're getting discounts with like CNFT Predator, which is like a sniping tool. That's a partnership with them. Okay. Before we actually launched, we had collabed with a lot of different projects. I'm sure that you guys, now that you're talking to projects, you get that connect, and like now all of a sudden, if you want to collab, it's something easy to do.
Yeah.
We don't have any art specific collabs coming up right now. I know actually like Filthy Rich Horses is actually doing a cool like jelly horse that they're doing. There's a project called like Eggscape that's doing like a jelly focused art thing too. But we're going to be doing like these jellification art collabs a little bit later on in the runway. As far as different partnerships, like on the technical side, one big thing that we're doing with our marketing Launchpad is we want to help be the middleman in a sense to them finding the correct technical partners for their needs. So, you know, like whether it's a minting platform like Cardano Crocs Club or Peppermint Machine, I'm even talking to Ada Anvil tomorrow. You know, we can help connect a project to that technical Launchpad and then just get a kickback for helping make that connect, even though the actual project doesn't have to pay any more money, right? It would be more of like a kickback from from like the Launchpad. Yeah. So we've got some stuff like that working right now. But yeah, besides that, I think those are the major things. I actually haven't thought about doing like hotels or anything like that. That's a pretty interesting idea.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that we've been talking to that do a little bit of, you know, different real world utility. They have like all types of stuff. It's
cool. Coming. Next year, one that I have qualified. It's like a cruise for all the holders, stuff like that. Like there's some cool ones.
Yeah. Geez, yeah. It would be interesting to see how some of this gets pulled off. Like a cruise for everyone, that's a big promise. Like that's like $800 a person type promise. Yeah. So I mean, if they're able to pull that off, it's crazy, because like even on CNFTs, like $100 is already a lot for an NFT project on CNFTs.
Well, so this is based on Ethereum.
If this one was on Ethereum, okay. Yeah. I was like, where is this number coming from? It's cool though. Like that's where this is going. Like these memberships and exclusive benefits and getting into clubs that you would have otherwise not. Like I kind of view it as like the American Express, like platinum card or something.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. Well, another question that we always ask everyone: are you guys gonna be in CNFT Con?
Yes. So right now, I feel like there would be some riots and some shit talking if I didn't go, because like I make YouTube videos and have a project.
Right.
So I feel like I'm forced no matter what. But I definitely want to go. I think it's going to be not only fun, but it'll be a cool opportunity to meet people in the community. Absolutely. Right now, my life is so crazy and I've moved like 3 or 4 times in the last month. So it's like right now, my brain isn't there, but I know that's like something I have to go. Like, I think that's just going to be an experience that I should not pass on.
That's how we are. It's like we're talking to all you guys. Like it's a chance to meet everybody. Like you said, Cardano has been like the most family-like, at least blockchain. Like everybody promotes each other. Go check it out. We actually have an interview for CNFT Con. I'm thinking like next week we're gonna end up doing with them, just to go over the whole thing and what they're expecting and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it was gonna be fun.
We definitely plan on being out there. I know we're not gonna get a booth. We're more or less gonna float around and kind of do what we're doing now. Do like maybe like on the spot interviews, one-on-ones with each project, and then hopefully like even set up some collabs with some projects.
Yeah, that would be
Dude,
awesome.
definitely, man. I am thinking that we're gonna have our own booth because it would make sense to have our own booth. But I definitely want to have some time where I go and talk to some of these projects too. Because like I've like interviewed, I don't know, a decent amount of projects now. So it'd be cool to like actually meet like the owner, like the owners in person, you know?
And we never know, like we're so early in this. These could be like some of the biggest, they could turn into the biggest companies in the world. You never know down the road. You know what I mean? And it's like, might as well do your networking now.
Yeah.
Get in early.
Your network.
Yeah, you don't know, you know what I mean? It could be you. You could be the next huge one. Like, and it just helps to talk to everybody, pick their brain, figure out, like you said, there's not really a spot. Like that's one thing we always ask because we've been considering doing like a project for Earn. Like, but it's like, where do you find these artists? Who can you trust? How do you do this? And like what you're saying, part of your platform, which you might go with, and that's what I was taking off is like, you might, all right, here's a list of reliable artists. Here's some you know, programmers. Here's a little bit of everything. And that's one thing that is missing. I mean, I know we have like there's a few that are doing minting, stuff like that, but to put the whole, if you wanted to do an NFT project, it's hard to find. Like, where do you go to find all this stuff? It's definitely that I haven't seen a ton of yet.
And that's what we really want to help build, because even for me, like it was hard in the beginning of like figuring all this out. Cause I think, okay, it's like, okay, like it all starts off, I want to start an NFT project. I'm interested in this. Oh, this is pretty cool. But then it's like, where do you start? You know, and you'll have artists make a project, but then they don't know the marketing side or the Discord side or the community side. You might have a developer that knows how to do the tech, but they don't have to connect to an artist, or they don't know how to run a community. You'll have people that are good with talking and marketing, but they might not understand the logistics of a project, right? Like it's really hard to like find the pieces, and it's something you can't do by yourself. Like if you're an artist, most likely you don't know how to do the tech. If you're really big into tech, more likely than not, you're not going to be as social where you're jumping on different Twitter spaces and communicating as effectively. Like, and these are generalizations. Everyone's got different skill traits. You might be a god at everything, you know, but like, it's important to have those delegations. Like for me, I was lucky. My sister was able to make something cool that was fun together. But even when it came to the tech side, like, who's your developer for your Discord? How are you getting the roles set up? Who are you finding to actually mint your project? What's the metadata going to look like? How are you generating these images? You know, how are you marketing it? Who's going to be in your community? How do you manage the Discord and build up hype and get engagement? How do you make sure that this isn't a project that dies in 2 weeks when the hype goes down and like actually has long-term sustainability and use case? What is your roadmap? How do you develop a roadmap? And then once you have that roadmap, how are you going to execute on that roadmap? What's your priorities? Do you have someone that is going to know how to do the technical side of this? Do you know how much this is going to cost? Right? Like these are questions that people like don't have the answers to. And like they'll jump into, and I see this all the time, and you guys are going to see it too, because as you get bigger, you'll have a lot of projects reach out to you. And a lot of projects, you can tell right away if they like don't know the answers to these things. And like, how do you build consumer confidence if the owners don't have the answer? And then furthermore, once the bar gets raised, it's going to be almost impossible for like the average Joe to get in. Like right now, it's like, okay, if you're a random person, you can still start a project and launch it, right? And if you know what you're doing or do your homework, like it could be successful. In 5-10 years, like you're going to have companies with 300, 400, 500 people working on the project. You're going to have companies like Blizzard,
with millions
Epic
and
Games.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the window to actually launch a project without needing hundreds of thousands of dollars and a massive following. Like it is going to get it, like over time as the market develops, it's just going to get harder.
That hole keeps shrinking. Yep,
100%.
absolutely.
100%. I hope you guys took notes on that. Everything that was good value right there. I'm not gonna lie. You know, a lot of people don't understand those factors, and you know that probably just gave someone that is looking into developing a project a lot of value.
Yeah, that we don't just got to come up with a profile, like that's it, and then that's what I mean. It's like an image, and they think they can just sell it, and that's game over.
Yeah, not how it works.
It's not how it works.
Especially like you said, in the next 3 to 5 years, it's definitely not gonna be like that. You're gonna see a lot of these projects wither away. They're gonna be gone. They're not gonna be around. And the ones that stay around are the ones that put in perspective everything that you were just saying. Understanding community, understanding utility, understanding cost of a project. All that, everything that you just said, and there's still more. There's still more to it. When you have the project, sustaining the community, doing all that good stuff. It's a lot of work, and of course you have a team that is dedicated and willing to work together to make it something huge and provide value to the community. It's endless. The opportunity is endless.
Yeah. And one thing to people listening that are interested in starting a project, I would say like my biggest advice is being in the space for a while and like understanding how things work.
100%.
One of the great things is like, because I was doing YouTube videos on it, I was researching so many projects, and you start to see what works, what doesn't, what's effective, what's not. You start to like, you peep it, like you're like, oh, like what they're doing low key, like that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you're not entering the space blind. Like I see some projects, they come in, they just see NFTs doing well and they want to do the same and make some quick money, but they don't understand the space or things that go into it. So I would just recommend being in the space for a while. Like what you guys are doing right now, you guys are going to be in the perfect position. Like if you keep this grind up to like launch something yourself, and it doesn't have to be something insane, but it could be something as much as like exclusive information or whitelist spots to projects you partner with. And like, it's just crazy. I could go on a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, we have a cool idea, which just getting it to work, but we'll get it.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Well, before we head out of here, is there anything else you wanted to share out there to the community? Any value, anything about the project, anything
that we missed
that we might not cover?
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as like Jelly Cubes and the Block Investment Group goes, it's pretty much the summary there, right?
Yeah.
You get access to this group. We're gonna do cool shit. We're gonna have some different revenue streams and different utilities that we're gonna load out over the next couple of months, especially. Super exciting stuff with the project. And like I said, if it's a little out of your price range, stay tuned. We're gonna do a couple of these different membership passes and different drops like that. And we might even do a couple like free mints and stuff like that, just where more people can get in, even if it's not a membership drop. But yeah, I would just say thank you guys for having me on too. Like best of luck to you guys as content creators. We definitely need more content creators in this space, and especially when the market is more bearish right now.
Exactly.
And, over time, like when this starts popping off again, like
they'll start showing up.
Yeah. Like you guys that are making content, or the projects that are working right now, or just people that are investing and listening to these different calls that you guys are doing, like it's going to end up being beneficial when things swing. So
do it while it's slow in the bear market. Like that's what's so cool with you holding the floor and that kind of volume. You got to remember, like that's what we were saying before, like you're almost getting a discount at the price of ADA, but not even that. Like you got this market, anybody that's been in it right now knows we are not in, it's not in an uptick, that's for sure. Like before you could literally pick any project that was minting that day, and the odds of you losing money isn't gonna, you weren't gonna lose. You could get anywhere from a 2 to a 10x. Now you got to actually know what you're doing a little bit. And that's good, because it also gets rid of like what you were saying before. There's people that just thought they'll come in, sell some NFTs, and then are lost. They'll slowly fade away, the same as cryptos did in, 17 when they came out, and they'll slowly do it now on the next round. Like the bad projects go away, the good ones stay.
And I can't agree more with that, man. And it's one of those things, like when we were about to launch, I was like, at first I was super bummed that the market was taking a hit, because I was working on this for so long.
Right.
And I was like,
You
oh
get
man,
nervous.
is this a bad idea to launch still? Especially for me, I'm putting my name, face, reputation, everything on it, moving. And one thing that is cool is the people that are getting into projects now are more likely to be here and stay for the long term.
Yep.
And that's what I've been able to see through the community that we've been developing so far is you really have people that are committed. Whereas in a super bullish market, like a couple months ago, when it came to CNFTs, it was like like a lot of those guys are not even watching anymore.
No, absolutely. Our viewers and all dropped off, like our regular ones, and now we're getting new ones. And it's like you said, it's the ones that are doing their work right now that they're going to benefit the most in the next run. Who knows when it'll be?
100%.
But if you're doing your homework, now's the perfect time. Like that's what we always say, even like with our show. We even said that like months ago. You can go back when the market was crazy, and we're like, look, but when this market goes and does a correction and all, that's when you guys should really start focusing on stuff. That's when you can find out what the good projects are, the bad ones. But what's crazy is those same people that were talking it, they slowly disappear.
Yes,
and they'll be back when everything's in that green again.
Yep.
But they missed the best opportunity. That's the crazy part.
For sure.
100%, man. Well,
Dude,
look,
thank you.
We appreciate you for hopping up on here. We look forward to, if you guys ever do, another drop, which I know in the future you guys are doing another one. We would love to have you up on the show, talk more. If you guys have anything in the future coming, free drops, airdrops, whatever, we're more than welcome to have you guys on the show, talk about it, and we'll blast it out for you. Other than that, man, appreciate you. That's another episode of Crypto Cliff Notes. We out. Peace.
Thank you.